Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Jab, Cross, Hook. The UFC is back and it did not disappoint. Welcome back to episode 5 of Jab, Cross, Hook. Carter Masterson joined alongside my good friend Dean Pomeroy here from the Flint Hall, Floor 3 Lounge in Syracuse, New York. Dean, it really didn't disappoint. UFC was back and it was everything we wanted it to be. An amazing main event, a good main card filled with fun fights, not many finishes, but a lot of really entertaining bouts, and it was really just top to bottom a good card.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like the UFC couldn't ask for more, starting the year off and starting their first, Paramount card off with one of the best main events we've had in a long time, and the rest of the card was good as well. So a lot to like already.
There was some bad news before the fight card that had some fans a little worried. Michael Johnson and Alexander Hernandez card was pulled on the day of the fight. Not something you ever want to see. There was speculation that it was due to a betting thing because we saw the line shift almost $1 in favor of Michael Johnson to move him to the favorite. And it was 2 days before the fight. Very weird. Turns out Alexander Hernandez might have had a broken hand. Starting to make a little more sense.
I mean, I like that the UFC goes and does that. I mean, like any suspicious activity, they're cracking down on now. They're not dealing with it.
After the Del Valle fight in the fall, they don't want to repeat.
That was, considered fixed. So they're trying to crack down on that stuff, and I like it. It's good.
The other fight that was canceled that weekend, Ricky Tercios versus Cameron Smotherman, was supposed to be on the prelims. Smotherman fainted during weigh-ins, however, and he was not allowed to fight. Of course, that makes sense. I'm glad they didn't let him fight. That stuff does happen sometimes during weight cuts. So nothing too serious, but it's unfortunate. And he doesn't even walk around that heavy outside of outside of making weight for fights. That's what everyone initially speculated, but turns out he only walks around 145, 150 pounds. 10, 15 pounds really is not that much to cut. It does take an effect on the body, but there's guys cutting 25, 30, 40 pounds to make the weight class they are in. But let's stop wasting time and let's get right into it. Let's look at the card and how it went down. Starting off, Ty Miller, Thriller versus Adam Fugit.
I mean, to break down this fight, really, I mean, Ty Miller, like I said in the breakdown video, got it done fairly easily, showed that he's the younger fighter, showed that he's the more athletic fighter, showed that he's the prospect, and Fugit should be cut. Nothing more to say.
Yeah, I mean, Fugit just didn't look good, didn't look UFC caliber. Ty Miller looked solid, but I don't really think it means much. I think he beat one of the worst guys in the division, and it's what he needs. I mean, he was only 6-0 before this. Like, when you come into the UFC undefeated with that little of experience, the UFC we've seen them switch to this idea. Instead of trying to rush guys up, they want to give them some cans, give them some easy fights, work them up to the more competitive fights so they're more ready, more fit, more physically capable of being in a UFC fight. Funny thing that started off the card, both fights and both two fights both two fights ended with 4:59 left in the first round. Or 4:59 had passed. 1 second left. I'm a mess right now, but
and with Josh Hokit, first ever fighter in history to win with a middle finger finish. Flipped him off and they called it.
Won by middle finger. That's
won by middle finger. Josh Hokit and Denzel Freeman. Really, Josh Hokit just absolutely had his way. I mean, you open the stats of this fight, and Denzel Freeman landed a big fat 0 significant strikes, and Hokit literally just beat him everywhere, was ground and pounding him, was beating him on the feet. Freeman looked like he wanted to give up, and literally was just flipped off, like most disrespectful way to lose a fight, I feel like, too. Freeman sucks, cut him. But Hokit's a character. He's fun. He got on the mic and said, he called out Brittany Griner. He said Brittany Griner's a man. I mean, this guy's a character. I'd love to see him, get someone maybe in the top 15 next,
He called out another fighter that fought on this card, Waldo Cortez Acosta. Really don't think he's getting that fight. But
yeah, it's not time.
But I guess it's possible. I think he's trying to talk his way into a big payday. I don't think it's going to work for him. I do think he gets beat by a majority of ranked heavyweights, but I mean, some of those guys at the bottom of the top 15 are really bad. They're just really not that good. Like, I'm not convinced Josh Hokett's not beating Derek Lewis right now. Yeah. I'm not convinced that Josh Hokett's not beating Mick Parkin. Like, some of these guys at the bottom are just not very good. So, like, I'm not convinced Josh Hokett doesn't beat a Walter Walker. Like, if he can stay on the feet. But I don't think he's good enough to beat any of the guys in the top 5 and the top 10. Mm-hmm. But he's young, so we will see. But he will definitely make you have an opinion about him. Next fight, Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Alex Perez won by a finish, which was not something a lot of people saw coming. He won by knockout, too, which is definitely not something people saw coming. And it was a pretty impressive performance. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I feel like I called this one. My dog of the card was Alex Perez. He got it done. I didn't end up betting him. I ended up getting a little nervous and, second-guessing myself and just leaving this one, didn't bet anything. But, dude, Perez looked good. Again, he looked like he was back. He looked like a top 15 flyweight. He looked good. Literally had Charles Johnson wobbling for a good minute in that fight and finally finished him with the left hook. Perez looked good. That's all I can say. Yeah, but you got to make weight. He came in a couple pounds over. But I don't really when he came in, sometimes I actually tend to stay away from a fighter because they had a hard weight cut. Mm-hmm. We've seen that plenty of times in the past. People come in overweight, and it's not been a good thing. Yeah. We saw that with Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo looked like he was a mess. Yeah. He missed weight as well. Mm-hmm. But Perez, he looked fine at weigh-ins. He just looked like he missed it. And he's old, so I think it's kind of, if you have a bad weight cut, just call it instead of keep it going. Yep. And Johnson just did not look good. Yeah. He just didn't. Weak. I don't know if he was hurt, but he just didn't
Considering that he's a guy that beat Joshua Van by knockout.
And he just coming off a fight against Lonnie Kavanaugh where he got the win. And he's also beat some decent guys. Azat Maxim is kind of talented. Yeah. Estevam was undefeated. He's really good.
Yeah, it just feels like with a Charles Johnson fight, you don't know what you're getting. Like, he's just so 50-50. Some nights he's on, some nights he's not. It's just weird.
Never play him at 210, minus 210. Yeah. Never. Next fight, we had a upset. This one a little bigger than the other one in terms of just where the people's money was at. Nikita Krylov beats Modestas Bukauskas. We were all over Modestas. Yeah. Modestas is a fraud, ladies and gentlemen. Modestas is a bum. Mm-hmm. Let's look back at his record here. He beat, before this, Paul Craig, sucks. Ian Cutelaba, split decision. Rafael Sequeira, one of the worst fighters in the UFC. Marcin Prachnio, terrible. He got cut. Petrino moved up a weight class and might be okay, was on steroids during that fight. Zach Poga, Tyson Pedro, neither of them in the UFC. We fell for the trap.
Yeah, we did.
We fell for the trap.
This was the first fight we got wrong on the card. I mean, Modestas has power. Like, I'll give him that. He has power, but I feel like he couldn't land anything clean on Krylov. Krylov has this really awkward kind of style of fighting where he, like, I don't know, his hands are kind of low, but it looks like he can get hit. But every time Modestas, like, tried to really go in and swing, he would just get, like, jabbed, from what I remember. Like, he was getting hit bad. And then it was, like, literally with 10 seconds left, Modestas was just threw it out the window and was like, let me try to finish this guy, and ended up
stuck his chin way up in the air.
Stuck his chin out and got knocked out. And, Krylov was going to win by decision either way. Good win for Krylov.
Going to be 30-27, not even a 29-28. Yeah. Bukauskas, anytime they got into the scraps where he was in the pocket, Krylov was landing the clean punches, slipping whatever Modestas threw his way and getting out of there. Mm-hmm. Like, it was technical. Krylov looked great. He used the wrestling when he needed to. I thought he was washed. I mean, when you lose to Reyes and a terrible fighter like Bogdan Guskov, I thought he was washed. I thought it was all over for him. But it's not. And I'd love to see Guskov and Bukauskas fight next, just because I think that'd be really funny. And they're both terrible.
Yeah, light heavyweight needs some more prospects, man. We can't having guys like Bogdan Guzkov in the top 15 and Krylov is shameful.
Yeah, because don't let this win fool you. They're going to give Krylov a fight up next, and you are going to take the other guy without thinking twice. This is a Modestas problem. Krylov is still probably washed. Yeah. I mean, Modestas landed nothing on the chin of Nikita Krylov. There's no way he was going to win that fight. Next fight, Gautier Puliaev. This was actually, I thought it was a pretty entertaining fight. Puliaev was game the entire time. The plus 650 underdog was expected to be just a lamb for slaughter. Really went out there and was competitive. He landed some strikes. I don't think the scorecards, I think, gave him a round. I personally did not. I thought it was a 30-27 for Gautier. But Puliaev struck with him. Like, he was right there. His 6 strike numbers were pretty close.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to say, like, this fight was super entertaining. And for the first time, it made Gautier look human. Like, the thing is, like, Gautier, I feel like he could have finished this fight, though. Like, he had the 2 knockdowns, and every time he was touching Puliaev's chin, his power was showing. Like, Puliaev was, like, stumbling.
He was keeping his distance.
It felt like more than 2 knockdowns. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, it just shows you how good Gautier is. Like, I think Puliaev's also very good. Like, his kicks, I mean, I think he actually had Gautier bleeding a little bit from the nose. Like, he was landing on him. Like, I'll give it to Puliaev. Both these fighters are really good at middleweight, honestly. I think both of them are good. Puliaev, I think, he could be a good fighter in this middleweight division. I think he's just, a little bit skinny.
I think he's going to be a great gatekeeper of the top 15 for a long time. I think this actually gives me more confidence in Gautier. He went all 15 minutes. He didn't gas out.
In
the third, he looked a little tired, sure, but he kept pushing forward. He kept throwing punches. And he won that fight.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Umar Nurmagomedov, Davison Figueiredo was the feature prelim, and Umar went out there and spanked him. But a very unimpressive performance from Umar. Didn't do anything special, kind of just expletived him. But also he was out, when they were on the feet too, he was landing volume.
On the feet, yeah. He was.
Landing volume, nothing impactful. Never had Davison scared at any point, but he also stayed out of trouble because we know he ate that knee from Bautista last fight.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do that again, apparently. But nothing really to talk about here. It's what everyone expected it to be.
Yeah.
Except, actually, everyone, I think, was leaning towards Umar was going to go out there and put on a really good performance, and he kind of just did what he needed to.
I think with Umar, all this fight showed me is that he's never going to be that bantamweight champion, honestly. I think when you're fighting a washed fighter like Figgy, and the UFC is feeding you someone that's clearly not as on your level, you need to go out there and finish that guy and make a point. And Umar had opportunities to. He didn't show urgency. He kind of just rode it out to a decision like he always does. I get that he's a Dagestani, that's what they do. But I would like to see more from Umar. I just don't think he's quite the level of Merab, Peter Yan. I think he's there, but this fight kind of just showed that he's not that top level. I don't know.
I don't even know if he's the level of a Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
I think Sean O'Malley beats him in a fight. If they fought tomorrow, I would pick Sean.
Yeah.
His takedown defense has improved mightily, and Umar is zero threat on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like Merab but easier, and once you get up, you don't go right back down. Umar's done nothing in his career, nothing of real note. He knocked out Raoni Barcelos. I guess that's a pretty good performance, because Barcelos is probably going to come up into the rankings this year. Sandhagen by decision, that's okay. Bautista by decision, he lost around in that fight. Figgy, who cares? Figgy's so washed. His only 2 finishes other than Barcelos, which, don't get me wrong, that is a good win. Brian Kelleher, UFC 272, Covington versus Masvidal.
A while back.
And Sergey Morozov. Who?
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff we're working with for his finishes. He finishes no one. He just doesn't. And I don't think he's the top class of the bantamweight division. I think he's going to be a top 5 gatekeeper.
Yep.
I just don't think, I think he's good enough to be there. I don't think he's good enough to move up. Now we get into the main card, the important stuff. John Silva, Lord Silva, gets a big win by decision over Arnold Allen. No knockout like I thought he was going to. Silva is motivated, but he has lost some of that aggression. He's lost that killer instinct, it seems, with that Diego Lopez fight. And he was still landing his shots. He won that fight beautifully. He fought a beautiful fight, dominated, in my opinion. I think the scorecards had it 29-28, and one of them had 30-27, right?
Yeah,
but
one of them.
I had it 30-27 in that one too. I thought Silva whooped up. Allen looked good still. Like, he looked competitive. He got some takedowns, had some control time, didn't really do anything with it, which is something we saw later in the night with Song Yadong as well. And Silva, like, he looked good. He was going to the spinning stuff a little bit.
Yeah, he was.
A little bit
He
too
loves that
much.
stuff.
Because they got him in trouble versus Lopez. So I just thought he would go to it a little less. And he didn't. But we look at the outlook of the division. Like I said, Silva was my pick to be champion by the end of the year. This puts him right in the mix of things.
Still there.
Of course, we've got Lopez Volkanovski this week for the featherweight title. It's rumored that we'll see Evloev versus Lerone Murphy to decide who the number one contender is. There's some really fun fights that you could give Jean Silva. You could give him a Steve Garcia. You could give him a Yair Rodriguez or Aljamain Sterling. I think it's going to be one of those three.
I do too, yeah.
But I actually would love to see him versus Steve Garcia, and then the winner of that gets a number one contender fight. Yeah. They're both on a rocket ship up. They haven't had any great wins. Silva's win over Allen is very, very notable. Garcia's best win is, David Onama?
Yeah.
Just nothing too special.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that fight, see if Garcia's for real. But he's definitely one win away from a number one contenders fight.
Yeah, Gene Silva. I mean, like, this fight was a fun fight. It was entertaining. It was back and forth, really good striking. I don't really think, like, Arnold Allen drops too much from this fight. Like, he has fought some tough competition in the UFC. Like, I mean, like, he's fought, like Holloway, you know, he fought Evloev. They're just giving him hard matchups, I feel like. I don't really think Arnold Allen drops at all from this fight. I think Gene Silva does, you know. I mean, he gains something. He wins. It was funny. He, like, stood in his back at one point in the fight. You know, like, Gene Silva was styling on him a little bit. But, you know, I thought it was a good performance by Gene Silva. Move him up, you know.
Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas was the next fight. Pretty, as you'd expect, fight. Namajunas took a round. Silva dominated 2 of the rounds, got the win. Not really much to talk about there. We know Silva's next for the belt. This was a fight she took on late notice just to keep her active before she fights Shevchenko, probably sometime around May. I think that'll be a fun fight.
Yeah.
Both of those fighters are really talented. For Rose, she actually showed a little bit of life, so I think there's plenty of fights she can take in that division to just keep her around. It shows that she still could compete for a title, but she's got some work to do. Maybe if she wanted to fight like a Blanchfield or a Jasudavicius, there's some options, but I nothing really of note in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we can both agree this is the most boring fight on the main card, maybe of the entire card, to be honest. You know, like, I don't know really what there is to take away from this fight. I feel like in the first place, I didn't really like the matchmaking. Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas. I mean, like, Rose, she just seems like she doesn't, like, have that same urgency. I don't know. Like Natalia Silva's really good. I mean, I saw it, like, she beat Alexa Grasso. You know, like, she's up there in the women's band or flyweight. So, you know, maybe give her a title shot next. I'm not really sure. You know, we'll see. But, you know, there's not much to take away from this fight. It was mostly just kind of boring.
The fight was meant to be Grasso-Rose. That was definitely what it should have been.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Grasso had to pull out. Moving on to what was also a very boring fight. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Waldo Cortez Acosta wins by knockout in the second round. And right as soon as I saw walkouts, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yep.
Waldo went out there and Lewis went out there and threw for 3 minutes as hard as he could. Didn't really get close to anything. Looked awful from that point on out.
Yep.
He looked terrible. He looked like he had never fought before. Waldo pieced him up. Waldo did what he does. He's a smart fighter. He stays at range. He lands his shots. He does his damage, and he gets the win. And Derek Lewis got tired. He tried to pull guard and then sat there and let his face get smashed in. Like, he looked like he doesn't care anymore.
He honestly looked like he gave up. Like, there was, like, the shot Waldo landed to sit him down was, like, not even, like, that powerful. It was, like, a slip, and then Waldo just, like, touched him. And then Derek just fell and was like, yeah, I'm giving up. I don't care. It's like the pass on the torch thing. Like, I love Derek Lewis, but dude is old as hell. And honestly, I think he should retire. I don't want to see this guy go out and get like knocked out again. He's 40. He's the knockout king. He's had this incredibly fun career. Everyone in the UFC, every UFC fan loves Derek Lewis. But I mean, it would be, I'll say like it would be cool to see like Derek Lewis fight some like knock out a guy like Josh Hockett, like knock out like a, someone that's like up and coming and a prospect. But like at this point, does he even win those fights? Who knows? I mean, he's just only getting older. I don't even think with this fight, like I'm even impressed with Waldo. I think he just did the bare minimum and knocked him out. Like, I don't even think Waldo's stock rises. This fight was just kind of sad to see Derek Lewis get knocked out like that.
Yeah, I would love to see Waldo get a step up again. Almeida's fighting in a few weeks versus Rizvan Kuniev, which is interesting matchmaking. We'll ignore that. I'd love to see him rematch Pavlovich. Don't think they're going to do that because that was Pavlovich's last fight. And there's no reason for Pavlovich to fight the same guy back to back. I just think Waldo's grown a lot since that fight, and I'd love to see him get another crack. I mean, he's literally fought 3 times since they fought last August. I think Volkov is a realistic fight.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I don't think he wins that fight, but I think it's good. That would be a really entertaining one. So we'll see what they decide to do with him. We dropped Derek Lewis in our rankings below Curtis Blades and Sergey Spivak. The UFC dropped him below Ante Delia and Marcin Tybura as well.
Marcin Tybura
that's harsh. That's harsh. I don't agree with that, but they also jumped Tybura above Delia, which makes 0 sense because
Delia literally knocked
him out.
Yeah, and then they called it a knockout
in the first round. Whatever. We won't get into it right now. Not important. Moving on to the co-main event, and we can talk bantamweight here. Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong. Song looked really good. He did. He had a good game plan, and it just didn't work. He wanted to come in and take down O'Malley. He wanted to control him. He didn't really have a plan once he got on top of him. It seemed like his plan was just to get on top of him and hold him down. Didn't do anything when he was there. And that wasn't enough because Sean was always going to get up. Song's not a good enough wrestler to hold Sean O'Malley down for a whole round. And when he got up, he was piecing him up. He won the first round, I thought, pretty clearly, but it was, I guess, up for interpretation in some people's eyes. And by the time the third round came around, he was stuffing takedowns. He had reached his rhythm, and he was absolutely piecing him up. He fought at his 5-round pace for a 3-round fight and still won. If that was a 5-round fight, he's putting Song Yadong out.
Exactly.
It would have not made it out of the 4th round because he was getting into an absolute flow state and was piecing him up. Absolutely piecing him up. I would love to see Sean O'Malley fight Umar Nurmagomedov just so we can settle that and get that done because there's a lot of talk about who should the next fight be. The next fight should be Merab. Peter Yan just got back surgery. They're both going to be out until Peter's ready. And once Peter's ready, Merab will probably be ready to enter a fight camp, and then they'll fight. Sean O'Malley, Umar at the White House seems like an easy decision. Winner gets a lot of time off to prepare to fight the champion.
This fight was placed perfectly for the White House card. It gives him enough time, Sean O'Malley enough time where he's still active, and it gives him that time to train for the White House card. But yeah, again, like the only thing I wish this was like a 5-round fight, and like maybe they threw this fight instead of like on this card, they threw it on like a fight night card, made it the a 5-round main event because that'd be sick. I think O'Malley would have knocked him out coming 4th or 5th round, but he still landed a nice knee. Shades of the old O'Malley. It was really nice to see him, piecing up Song a little bit, styling. He the only thing I can say is he went on the mic afterwards and acted like he just like starched this guy. He was like screaming and like acting like he just knocked this guy out. I don't know. I like O'Malley. He's super fun. Would love to see him on the White House card. Could have had a better performance. I would have liked to see a knockout, but it was good.
It could have been better for sure, but I think Sean is. I mean, he's been struggling.
Yeah,
like
he has. He needed to win.
He lost 2 in a row to the same guy. That takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
He hadn't had a win in almost 2 years. Like, this is a guy who thrives on being like the him personality, like the king of the room, like the center of attention. Like, that's what he needs to be successful.
Right.
And it's hard to do that when you lose 2 in a row and get dominated. He got completely dominated by Merab, broke for 5 rounds. He started to show some life. Then when I don't know about you, because we didn't even know each other at this point, but when everyone around me was thinking that Sean started to figure it out at the end of the first fight, he's going to take it into the second fight, and he's going to figure it out and get his belt back. That didn't even get close to happening. He
did worse.
Merab went in there with a better game plan and finished him.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's last win had been 22 months ago, so I kind of get why he was really emotional and excited for the win. But I get what you're saying. I would have liked to see him win a little more.
The thing about bantamweights, I just feel like Sean is surrounded by like so many Merab-style fighters, which he struggles against. Like you've got Umar, you've got Merab, you've got like guys like Aljamain Sterling, you've got guys like Peter Yan that can all wrestle really well and don't want to just like stand with Sean. And it's just tough. Like a lot of these matchups are just tough.
Let's move it on up. This has been something I've been saying for a little bit. I would love to see Sean O'Malley move up to featherweight.
I think so too.
I think that would be a really, really good fit for him.
Fun.
And there's a lot of fights that could go on for him there. Like Sean O'Malley versus Diego Lopez. Oh my God, that would be beautiful. Sean O'Malley versus Volk probably.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to strike with these guys.
Either one, I think that's an awesome fight.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley versus John Silva. Ooh. Like, oh my God, don't even that sounds awesome.
Yes, we need those matchups.
We need people always like kind of. I've heard a lot of people get on Sean because he never really gets into those wars and he kind of talks that talk, but I think it's because the fighters in his division don't really give him a chance. Like, I think there's a new generation coming up where we could see a lot of more fun fights for Sean O'Malley, like a David Martinez, a Peyton Talbot, a Vinicius Oliveira.
Andy Baker.
But he doesn't got that much time left. He can't wait for them to be at the top of the division.
Yeah.
And I think move to featherweight could be good for him.
It could.
Main event time. Justin Gaethje defeats Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett was a pretty big favorite. We were up in the air on this one. Gaethje gets the win decisively. Paddy showed life in the 3rd round. We thought he was going to make a comeback, and then Gaethje shut it down in the 4th. He moves up 3 spots. He is now the interim champion. He will fight Ilia Topuria probably on the White House card for the main event of that. It's what's rumored everywhere. Of course, nothing is official.
Yeah.
Changes up the lightweight division a little bit. Max Holloway slides down to our 2, Arman Sarukian our 3, although both of them are probably, we don't have a pound-for-pound list made yet, but all 3 fighters in the lightweight division might be in the pound-for-pound list, and I don't think I'd put Gaethje in there still. Justin Gaethje, good win, but I don't think Paddy Pimblett should have been there. I don't think Justin Gaethje should have been there. Justin Gaethje is going to get absolutely murdered by Ilia Topuria. That's really the only thing I took away from this. Pimblett's got a hell of a chin. Gaethje still got it, but Gaethje has never been the top guy. He never will be the top guy.
Yeah.
He's a top 5 gatekeeper.
Well,
and he's never left the top 5. I'll give him credit for that. Like his ability to stay solid over such a long generation of time is good. It's too bad he fights at lightweight. Because if he had fought at a welterweight or a featherweight, not that he could make either of those effectively. Like he's fighting at the division he should be. But if he had been one of those, he'd be a champion and he would have multiple title defenses under his belt.
Yeah.
But he's had to fight guys like not even Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira. He did fight Holloway, but that was for the BMF belt. Khabib Nurmagomedov, Charles Oliveira. He's gonna have to fight Ilia for the official title. The lightweight has always been full of killers. It's been full of absolute killers, and Gaethje is one of them. But he's a killer be killed fighter when it comes to the top level guys, and sometimes he gets killed.
Absolutely.
Like he's had to face the Dustin Poiriers of the world.
Yeah. I mean, let's just take away all the analytics, all the fact that it's an interim, title, whatever. I got 4 letters. F.O.T.Y. Fight of the year. I mean, come on. This fight was sick. I don't care if Gaethje's not the top. I don't care if Patty's, lost some stock. This fight goes down in the history books. Honestly, it's such an entertaining fight. I could go back and watch this fight a year from now and still have fun watching it. It was such a good fight. This is the kind of thing the UFC needs to keep doing. I mean, having fights like this brings in so much more of like a fan base. It brings in so much more money for the UFC, for Paramount, for everything that they want. This is like, what more could you ask for? This fight was so sick. Gaethje, I mean, had multiple knockdowns. There was a few eye pokes in there, right? Like during the fight, Patty came back, ate the shots, started hitting Gaethje up, like making it close. Definitely ended up taking a round. This was such a sick fight. Like, I cannot stress enough that this is the kind of fight that takes years off these guys' lives. Like, did you see, I mean, there's an image I saw of Patty after the fight where his eyes are all swollen up and eye pokes, his face is swollen up. I mean, this dude took some serious damage. Gaethje has power, and Patty showed, I mean, he said in the interview, Scousers don't get knocked out. This Scouser really doesn't get knocked out. That's what Gaethje said after. It's true. I mean, this guy can eat a shot, and it made for such a sick fight. I mean, on paper, it was a sick fight. You have Gaethje who can eat a shot. You have Patty who can eat a shot, and it just ended up being a freaking war. That's all I'll say.
It was a war that capped off a pretty solid card. Let's get into our card rating and get you out of here for episode 5 of Jab Cross Hook. I'll go first. I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5. There was a lot of good stuff that happened. We had 3 first-round finishes to start off the card. Another great fight for the 4th fight. The 2 fights to end the prelims were also pretty good. That Umar fight was a little boring. The Silva fight was okay. Natalia Silva fight was really boring. The Waldo fight didn't wow me. But the two, and I'm actually going to up this right now. You know what? I'm upping it to an 8 out of 10. This is a really good card. No highlight moments other than the Hokit stuff at the start. Like, that's going to get people talking. And the other highlight was just that. Well, I guess that's the only highlight moment. The other moment was the Gaethje Pimblett fight. And for UFC fans and casuals all around that were watching that fight, because those are big names, like, that's what brings eyes to the sport. That's what gets people to come back and watch UFC 325 and UFC 326 as well, especially now that it's on Paramount. Great way to set up this card. They did. They got the names they wanted, 2 wins, and they got them their mic time, and it paid off.
I give this card a 9 out of 10. Take away the main card, I give it maybe a 6 out of 10. That being said, though, the main event made up for everything else. I don't care if Sean O'Malley didn't get a knockout. I don't care if Derek Lewis didn't get a knockout. I don't care if Teba Gautier didn't get a knockout. I don't care. As long this main event made up for all of that. That's all I care about. And the card was fun. I think it was I think there was some good fights even in the prelims. That's why I give it a 9. It's not quite a 10. There's certain, you can definitely beat this. But this is about, I feel like, the most the UFC could ask for in their first Paramount card,
I would agree. Well, they got another one next weekend, and we will break that down for you on the next episode of Jab Cross Hook. But for now, I'm Carter Masterson, and that's Dean Pomeroy, signing out here from episode 5. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.